We're seeing you here in Walker Independence. How was Kate originally described to you?
Kate, I think in the script, I'm trying to remember now. In the script, Kate's introduction, it said something like, there's idiosyncrasy in every movement. Or they were like, there's something a little odd and a little interesting about everything she does. And I was like, yeah. Because I was originally reading for another part. And when I saw her, I was like, oh, they're gonna ask me to read for this. This is my human life, is that I'm a little weirdo.
I was going to say the next question is, was there anything challenging about her initially on the page? But clearly you found your footing. Jump.
I did. I think when you've been acting for a while, you start to recognize in scripts the people that they consider your people or your wheelhouse in terms of a type of person. So in some ways it's really lucky because there's a place for you to slip into comfortably, but it also means that often it takes a while for you to play someone who's not like you. So, you know, double-edged artist sword. It's all good.
Were you familiar with any of your co-stars for getting to work with them here on the show, or were these new faces and new friends for you?
Um, yes, actually. So I went to I had a chemistry read for a different show with Matt Barr. And I remember it was just the most stressful day on earth. I had like packed wrong 'cause I'm from Vancouver and I'd flown down to LA to do this thing. And I was exhausted and anxious and had spent the whole day running around looking for a different outfit that was requested. And I just felt completely crazy. And I remember I blew in thinking they must think I am like the least professional, weirdest person because I was too stressed to, sometimes you're too stressed to not just be yourself. Like your veneer falls and you're like, hi, I don't, okay, hi, what's up? And I was totally in that mode. And then there was just like this beautiful blonde man who looked like the sun sitting there. And I was like, oh, good. At least the person I'm reading with is the most attractive person who's ever lived. And then he was so nice. And I don't know about you. I'm like suspicious of good looking people. I never think they're going to be nice. And man, he's just the sweetest man ever to live. And then he told me, when we started this together, I was like, hey, we finally get to do a show together. And he was like, I thought you were so cool. I thought you just blew in there. Like you didn't even care about anything. And I was like, oh, I want to be like her. She's cool. Meanwhile, I was having like a full scale panic attack.
Word, you weren't even going to get the role after that.
Oh my God. I was just like exhausted, furious, just total, mental illness-a-thon. But yeah, so I knew Maddie a little bit, but not as much as I do now. And I consider the chance to actually work with him on a show an incredible gift. And everybody else has just been a delightful surprise.
Well, I know that you and Lawrence initially didn't get to go to cowboy camp, but he told me he did a little bit subsequently since then.
Must be
Did
nice.
I was gonna say, did they give you any physical prep or stunt work for you to do outside of cowboy camp?
Listen, man, I this is going to become the contentious when I write my autobiography. There's going to be an entire chapter on this show just called Cowboy Camp about this deep amount of city slicker discrimination that's happening against me. Um I've done a little bit of stunt work. Not a ton. Stunt work in corsets is not for beginners. I have learned, and all of the stunt people who can do it blow my mind on the daily. Um,
Something about the lung compression probably doesn't make it.
Sciatica. It goes all the way down to the top of your back. It makes you feel like you're 150. It's wild. I have such deep compassion. I mean, I have deep compassion for anyone who deals with chronic pain anyway, but like the way that it changes my ability to focus and like my spoons are gone immediately the minute I put it on. Yeah, most of my stunt work is firearm based stuff and occasionally just like a little bit of rough and tumble, but I'm hoping for more because I think I can't swear, Kate kicks a lot of butt and I would love to see more of that in the future. I
I know
did.
you I know you've mentioned that Kate is kind of the de facto mayor of Independence. Will this kind of play a part in her helping Abby seek revenge for her husband?
I think so. Yeah. I'm glad that that's caught on because I really did just decide I would start saying it until people believed it because we all do that. All of us start interviews by saying, yes, I'm so and so. I see everything. I know everything. And eventually, if we all say it, it just becomes this confusing miasma. But yeah, I think Kate is a very grounded and intentional person, and she doesn't take no for an answer very often. And I think that her, when we find her in this series, her space and independence is a little bit untouchable. No one knows her full business. She has a very comfortable environment. She half runs the hotel. She's really found a niche for herself, and people don't usually bug her about much. Nobody's that brave. So I think that having Kate on her side, if Abby lets Kate in, would be pretty valuable. But one of the nice things about independence is that there are so many people dealing with so many other things that have nothing to do with Abby that Abby kind of stumbles into full on other adventures all the time by accident as she gets to know other people better. So Kate is a boon, but also a complexity, I would say.
We love to get to see her scenes with Abby. Will their relationship get developed at all? I know you touched on it just a bit, that maybe, there are other focuses in the series, but, fans have been really intrigued by that aspect of Kate as well, opening up
Yeah.
to another person finally.
Yeah, I think that every indomitable person needs a place to be soft. I think that we don't have a ton of women and femme people on our show. There are a few, but I think that watching Abby and Kate find sincerity and truthfulness and intimacy and real, genuine, adult, sincere connection with each other, watching that happen between anybody is really powerful. But I especially think that watching it happen between two femme people against a backdrop where, I mean, honestly, we've been told that it was all super macho white dudes.
Right.
Watching people that are not super macho white dudes find solace and courage in each other, I think is really beautiful. And the vulnerability of their relationship is one of my favorite things in the show. I think Kat would agree with me. We have a really beautiful time working together, and there's a lot more coming. I'm happy to say, joyful to say that there's a lot more coming.
Then how is Kate hiding her identity in such a small town that has eyes everywhere? How will that pressure of being undercover and having to build that persona eventually catch up to her?
Well, I think something that I forget about in our world of like constant communication and constant surveillance is that on the frontier, we've mentioned before that not only is independence like off the train line, it's like you take a train to Austin and then you take a stagecoach out into the middle of nowhere. It takes like 2 days to get to Independence from anywhere.
So gossip isn't going to be like it is today, where you one tweet away, you're one tweet away from anybody's business being uncovered.
Exactly. And also, again, like as I say a femme person because I'm non-binary, so I want to be respectful to that. But like as a woman, I think that your identity was less dissected. You were less paid attention to. If you were unmarried, if you were in like a smaller place, like an off the road kind of, if you lived in, quote unquote proper society, yeah, if you were living alone or doing your own thing and you didn't have a family or a husband or a way to be traced as property to somebody, it would be suspicious. So I think she is safer somewhere a little more off the beaten path where people won't ask as many questions. And again, she has put herself into, I mean, we'll see in the episode tonight, she's installed herself pretty solidly in Hagen's and with Hagen. We'll have a chance to see a little bit more of their relationship tonight. But she's found a pretty good way to duck anybody asking personal questions about her. But I think that being undercover as something that you're not and someone that you're not is really lonely. There are also other aspects to Kate that we don't know about yet, that keeping close to the chest all the time could be lonely and emptying. and it does catch up with her in softer moments. I think we see that she's exhausted. So yeah, there's more of that to come for sure.
Well, to me, it sounds like tonight's episode is going to be quite a standout. Are there specific episodes coming up that are really a favorite for you or maybe challenged you the most, whether it be physically or as an actor?
I think that episode 4 for me, I was given an opportunity.
That was Lawrence's favorite.
Shut up, Lawrence. He's such a good friend. Episode 4 gave me an opportunity to do a couple of things that, first of all, that bring me joy that I don't often get to do as part of work. And second of all, that bring me a lot of validation and comfort and euphoria as a queer person. And I think that there were a lot of things in that episode that felt like a gift to me directly from the people that I work with and for, and it really solidified my sense that I feel very at home and very loved on this show. So I'm excited for that. I hope it turns out good. If it doesn't, it's my fault. But yeah, and we just shot, I think we just shot our mid-season finale. I'm gonna say it was episode 7. You got to know we shoot 15 hours a day, everything just, and then we get a new script, so everything just becomes one huge continuum of Wild West. Yeah, I want to say that it was 7, and it deals with some really, really intense, like relatively historically accurate stuff that is heavy, and some of our cast had to tap into some pretty dark realities to sit in it, and they did it so bravely and with so much vulnerability and courage, and I think it was really beautiful. It was hard to be there for, but it's really beautiful to watch, and I'm really proud of everybody, and I'm proud of it as an episode. So I think I would say that's my other favorite, my non-selfish favorite.
You are a part of social media. What kind of feedback have you already been receiving to Kate and the show?
People seem to like it. I mean, one of the things that gives me the most makes me feel the most seen is that, like, I'm kind of a Tumblr junkie. Like, I'm on the internet in the same way now that I was when I was like 14, so I haven't gotten any cooler or more
debatable
astute. Well, I don't know, man. I'm still chilling in, like, anime Tumblr and like shipping people and getting mad when the boys that I want to kiss don't kiss. Like I'm the same. But people are noticing little things that I do that I assume no one will care about on the show, that are just me being a dork or doing something that makes me laugh, and then someone else will notice and it makes them laugh. But I mean, the reaction has been pretty beautiful. I think we forget that people pick up on what we're putting down a lot of the time, and everybody has been really generous and really kind and excited in a way that, especially I think during the pandemic, we forget what it's like to have everybody show up for something you're doing, and like to be told that you're also bringing people joy, and that it's just a really nice continuum. And I feel like it's been going really great.
And I will say, a lot of the questions that I asked for you on social media, they were all fans were very respectful of your pronouns as well. So I
Yeah,
appreciate seeing them embrace
I do
that
too.
aspect of your life as well.
I do
That
too.
they really seem to, want to be respectful of that as well when
Yeah.
asking questions on behalf of you as well. So I'm sure that ingratiates you and make you feel pretty seen as well.
It does. That's a bit of a vulnerable point for me right now, because I think I came into the fullness of my queerness a little later than life than maybe some other people, but it still feels very fresh and it feels vulnerable. It really does, in a way that I haven't experienced in a long time, especially speaking to, a giant mass public of people. So watching people accept and support and love and stand up for whatever the truth is just about my little body and self is really humbling, because I'm always like, okay, well, that's just me though. Why does it matter so much to you that you're going to go to bat for me with this other person? And like, I don't know. I think it makes me realize how easy it is to do that for everybody and how necessary it is to do that for everybody. Like, if somebody misgenders me and you're down to say something, then what's to stop everybody from, taking care of everybody in their lives that way? their trans non-binary friends. And, so
Right.
I think it's good.
I really think it's a great boon for you as well that people are so supportive of your identity as well.
I feel extremely lucky. Very, 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 very lucky. And I know that not everybody has the intersections of privilege that I do to be treated with that kind of respect. And so I take that seriously too, and I try to keep that in mind.
Well, speaking of luck, what does it mean to you to be a lead in such a largely juggernauted series?
Honestly, I'm trying to find good words. I'm trying to be astute here. I think that TV can be a really scary place, and working as an actor in network TV can be crushing. It can be exhausting. You can feel like no one listens to you. Opportunities are so huge. They feel like they come and go and you never have a shot. There's so much that you deal with as an actor trying to do this job. And I've been really, 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 really fortunate in my life. Again, partially because of the intersections of privilege that I do live at that give me maybe more opportunities, definitely more opportunities than some other people might have. And being on a show where I feel emotionally safe and respected and seen is a huge deal. And so I could say that the thing that is the most important to me or the most overwhelming for me is having the opportunity to be a regular on a which is luck in and of itself, on a huge show that people are being so kind about. But the truth is that the reason I feel the most lucky is that I've somehow managed to land in this place where I love everybody I work with. I'm respected by everybody I work with. And there's such intention to do as much good as possible, given, whatever constraints exist in the world and in business. But it really is a nourishing, exciting, familial place to work. And I think we've been seeing more and more over the course of the pandemic that is not a given. That does not show up for everybody. Not everybody has that privilege. And I think that's the thing about this that means the most to me, is to be supporting somebody else's dream, to be supporting diversity on the screen, to be, supporting this beautiful pipe dream that our showrunner and creator Seamus Fahey had to make a Western. And he, sometimes we'll do a scene, we'll look over and he'll be misty-eyed because he's the gentlest, kindest man in the whole world. And knowing that he gets to watch these and feel like people really wanted to go to bat to make something cool with him. And Larry Tang as well, one of our executive directors. Our executive directors, hi, I don't sleep anymore. One of our executive producers who also directed a number of our episodes. We have people who we want to make proud, including each other. And I think that that's the gift of this show for me in a big way. That was the longest answer anybody has ever given.
No, it was lovely and very touching as well. I mean, thanks. Sentiment to sentiment.
I'm a real squishy guy these days, and I'm largely too tired to say things in a pithy
18-hour days, man.
I wasn't built for it anyway. I'm in here by the skin of my teeth trying to not say stupid things, but we're out here.
Have you been busy working on any other projects that are coming out recently, or have you had your head down and your nose to the grindstone?
Oh my God, when would I do?
I don't know, maybe before filming on Walker started. Was there anything that's still to come?
I'm not that popular. I'm not that popular. I do, however, have a film that I'm lucky enough to have it. It resurfaces and does little rounds of international film festivals and comes back to Netflix every couple months, and called Straight Up by James Sweeney, which is, I'm gonna say, I mean, definitely one of my favorite things I've ever done. Like a huge piece of my heart sits in that movie. So every time I see it pop up again on Netflix for it was back for Pride Month, and I think James is in Paris without me right now, being a cool guy and doing a film festival for it. So, if anybody wanted to watch me in anything else, I would definitely say watch that, because it is my joy.
I mean, I loved you also in How to Get Away with Murder. That one was a big one as well.
That was a great show. I just watched Woman King. I went and sat and cried alone at a like midnight showing of Woman King in a little Santa Fe movie theater on my day off.
I know
I
her.
watched Viola, and I was like, I'm so glad that you're happy and you're so beautiful. It's amazing.
Go off, Queen. I know.
She's the best person. She's so great. Anyway, yeah. How to Get Away with Murder was a great show. I had a lot of fun with that show. Death aside, sorry, spoilers. Anybody who hasn't seen it yet.
I was just gonna say, I was gonna tell you, Alfred, we're still looking at you. Still breaking. He broke our hearts desperately.
Sweet boy. He's such a ridiculous human. He's one of my favorite people on earth.
He had that innocent face, and I think it carries into his real life that he just will get away with murder.
He really does. He's such a dink. I spend most of my time, I had the kind of relationship with him that I have with Lawrence, where I spend a lot of my time telling everybody how awful he actually is, and then no one really believes me.
I don't think people will buy into that theory. Sorry, Katie.
He looks like an angel, and he's so funny.
But the horns are underneath there, I swear.
He's too English to be properly evil. He's Shakespearean evil.
That's probably all he can get away with, Shakespearean evil. As most Brits.
Evil with grace and a little bit of pomp and circumstance.
Yes, and a very like large vocabulary that Huge. Are words that you will never like. Those are not SAT words.
That's true.
But they are real words.
That's like my job at table reads now, is to unmute myself whenever somebody can't pronounce something. Every once in a while, and it's like Ouroboros. Sorry, I'm out. Everybody's really nice about it. It's super self-indulgent, but everybody's really, really thoughtful to me about it.
Well, what would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the wonderful work, whether it's on Walker Independence or any of the beautiful projects we've seen you in?
Oh my God. What a broad and loaded statement. I think it's insane that anybody wants to watch me do anything. The imposter syndrome is real, and the fact that me learning how to get through the world with gentleness and interest in my own life as a person, the fact that anyone else picks up on that and is brought joy by that, or feels kinship with me, or feels close to me, really blows my mind. And you know, I'm somebody who struggles with mental illness, and the idea that sometimes when people kind of feel the big black bird coming, or they, you know, are having a day that it's really hard to be in a human body on this planet, the fact that sometimes I am the one who comes into their house on a screen and just sits with them for a bit and goes, all right, buddy, we're going to do this, is really amazing to me. So I think that it's incredibly generous that people allow me into their homes and their brains and their memes, and their secret 4 a.m. internet life, and their
Tumblrs.
And their Tumblrs. And their AO3s. There's going to be so much fan fiction about this show. You have no idea. We're writing it ourselves.
You and Lawrence are in the corner. Just
hell yeah.
It's me. We didn't go to cowboy camp, so F this.
I got some time off. But yeah, a long-winded way of saying that I'm floored. I'm constantly grateful, and I hope that it continues. I hope that people want to spend time with me, because I want to spend time with them directly or indirectly.